if you're non-compliant, make sure you get compliant.
Yes.
This is the last chance before the full ambit of all the anti-avoidance provisions kick in.
All right.
Country by country reporting, common reporting standards, anti-avoidance provision, the new definition of control, the new definition of permanent establishment.
Yes.
There's so many changes that are coming in that will change the landscape of taxation.
Hey, welcome to my channel and welcome to RSM. It's on Waiaki Way in Westlands, and I figured I needed to have a true conversation on the Voluntary Tax Disclosure Program. And I know you told me, can we hear from somebody who is not KRA? And I realized I needed to find an expert, because it couldn't just be me and my girlfriend having a conversation about it. And I found Mr. Ashif Kassam, who I must say, in the time I have been consulting with you, I'm not so scared of the words tax, audit, and consulting.
Interesting.
Do you realize that's how we feel, sir? That every time we see those words, audit, tax, we're like,
Yeah, it's. I think it's become too rules-based. And when it's rules-based, it actually scares people into what they are getting into.
But you have a smile. For a person who handles this sort of thing, how did you get into it? Even before I ask you my questions, because I'm on your time.
How did I get into audit?
Audit, yes.
So it's very interesting. I failed my O-level maths and I failed my A-level English. And I was waiting for my college, and then I was offered a job at a petrol station which was run by my uncle, called Kileleshwa Petrol Station, the famous one that's been broken.
The one that was broken down?
Yes.
Yes.
So I started helping him in the business, and he told me that the good thing you need to do is try and go to college in the evening while you're working with me. So I asked him, what do I do? So he said, look, do accounting, because in everything you do, accounts will help you.
True.
So I joined School of Professional Studies in those days.
SPS.
SPS?
Yes.
Yes, I joined SPS, and I enjoyed it so much that within 2 weeks I wrote to the university that I don't want a space there, I'll continue with accounting. So that's how I became an accountant.
And this many years later, RSM.
Yes.
And then Caroline comes calling.
Yes.
And by the way, my mission here is singular. It is Voluntary Tax Disclosure Program. Because I realized the first time I had the conversation about it, everybody kind of leaned in and at some point leaned away. Because they're like, it sounds interesting, but it's scary. So what is a Voluntary Tax Disclosure Program? What is that?
So Voluntary Tax Disclosure Program, is known in many terms. It's also known as an amnesty.
Oh.
So what happens is a lot of governments or revenue authorities realize that there might be genuine taxpayers who have made some errors in their accounting.
Yes.
Or have not been complying and want to comply, but they just can't go into the bandwagon, because if they go into the bandwagon, the amount of taxes that they'll have to pay would be very high, including the interest and penalties.
Okay.
So once in a while, they give a voluntary tax disclosure program or an amnesty to enable people or taxpayers to make voluntary disclosures, assess the tax and pay them.
Okay.
And then, once that's done, there are generally no questions asked.
Oh, you see, I told you, this is my consultation. So it's not unique to Kenya.
No.
It's done everywhere in the world.
Yes.
Okay. Because, of course, there's some people wondering, what is this that KRA has come up with? Is it new to Kenya? Remember, we're Kenyans. We mistrust everybody first. We mistrust everybody first. So why should a business, and I think this is open to businesses, you can correct me, or an individual?
Everything. Both businesses and individuals.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes, it's both.
Really?
Yes.
Even individuals?
Yes, so it's to any person, and a person is defined as business or individuals.
Okay, so why would anybody... Can we start with individual? Let me be a little selfish here. Why would Caroline take advantage of this? And why is it a good idea for Caroline to do it? If she's been running a business of some sort, or just herself, she keeps looking at that little deadline from KRA and saying, not for me, they'll never find me. So
I think in individuals, there would be three separate types of taxes. One could be that you were earning employment income, which like a foreign employer was employing you in Kenya, was paying you, but you never declared that amount. as your tax.
Okay.
Or a Kenyan individual or a Kenyan resident is taxed on the global employment income. So it's not only Kenyan income, it's global employment income. So if you're earning employment income outside that you're never declared here in your return, this is your chance to do it. The second is if you're earning interest, where you're supposed to pay 30% tax, 15 is deducted at source, 15
yes. you're supposed to pay.
Yeah, prior to last year.
Yes.
Last year the rules changed in 2020. So if you're not paid the additional 15%, you would also qualify under this voluntary tax disclosure program.
I in all the time I heard voluntary tax disclosure, I thought, ooh, that's for businesses. But now it makes sense as an individual. So I guess I get back now to the big thing. Why would an organization, a business, take advantage of the voluntary tax disclosure program?
So I think there are 2 or 3 reasons. One is that you had made some genuine mistakes. And if you went to disclose it, you had to pay all the interest and penalty. So now it's a time that you can, go and clean up all these genuine mistakes.
Which is why you call it an amnesty.
Yes.
Aha. Okay.
They are bringing in country-by-country reporting, where if it's a Kenyan holding company that has got subsidiaries outside, you need to report not only on the Kenyan, entity,
outfit, yes,
but also on the performance of the whole group that you need to file here. That's under the transfer pricing rules, and it's under the OECD guidelines, and it's a global initiative for total disclosure, so country-by-country reporting.
Okay.
And so with all these rules tightening, before they all tighten, a lot of countries say, okay, let us give the businesses one more chance to clean their affairs up.
Okay.
So once these rules come in, nobody can say that they're draconian. Yeah, you didn't give us an opportunity to clean up.
True.
And CRS is going to become a game changer. CRS is where any accounts that are held in any financial institution in Kenya by a resident of another country with which KRAs and reporting agreement will automatically be exchanged. So let's say if there is an agreement with UK, okay? If any Kenyan resident owns a bank account in UK, the UK tax authority will automatically report that account to the Kenyan tax authority within 9 months after the year end, once this CRS comes into play.
And CRS, you said again, stands for?
Common Reporting Standards.
Common Reporting Standards. I hope you're taking notes. If not, you need to come and see him. Yes.
So, with that disclosure, all accounts of a Kenyan resident with which KRA has an agreement with, that country will report that account to Kenya.
Gotcha.
And it's not only bank accounts. It means if somebody's holding any assets for you under an asset management agreement, under a trust, or if you have a life insurance policy that has a surrender value globally, that will be reported. Or if you have a term life policy in excess of 90 years, that will be reported. So pretty much all your investments that are held outside, if you're a Kenyan resident in another country, if KRA has a CRS agreement with that country will report it.
Got you. So I've written here, if you've made a genuine mistake, it's a chance for you to clean house. You've been non-compliant, get your house in order. What's the third reason why the voluntary tax disclosure program would be good for a business?
The third is also, with a lot of transactions coming in Kenya, PE, VC funds, they are also asking, significant guarantees. So it's in terms of warranties and indemnities.
Yes.
So this is that if you want to sell your business, you want to professionalize it. Okay. This is a chance also to clean up your affairs so that, you start on a clean slate.
That is actually a big reason. It's a really big reason. So I guess here's the thing. What do I need to know? So I've got these 3 great reasons. We're sitting around, the boardroom, and we're nodding to each other and saying yes, yes, yes. But what do I need to know? Because I remember when I first had an interview with KRA, I said, so I being Catholic, I felt like it was going to the confessional. You need to say, forgive me. I have sinned. It has been 5 years since my last confession, and these are my sins. And then?
So I think there are steps that are the legal steps, and then there are steps that people need to do on their own to ensure that they don't fall foul of the law.
Okay.
So on the legal steps is obviously you need to disclose all material facts to the Revenue Authority for each year and for each type of tax. Now,
but you get a schedule, I guess.
Yes, so the schedule is a maximum of 12 months, but there is a catch in the schedule.
Oh, tell me.
The catch is that if you pay the amounts in 2021, then there is no interest and penalties at all.
All right.
If you pay the amounts in 2022, only 50% of the interest and penalties are waived. So you pay 50% of the interest and penalties.
So it is in our best interest to do it this year?
Yes, and pay everything before 31st December. Okay?
If you can.
And the third one is if it's 2023, then only 25%
of your interest
of the interest are waived. So you pay 75%. So technically, if you really want to enjoy the disclosure program, then this is the year. Between June and December, you need to quantify it and pay the amount.
Okay. But I like that. And obviously, and I know I asked you this, and you asked me when we were actually doing this cannot be my private consultation. You don't go to KRA and say, here's my affairs, tell me what to do. No, you must go to KRA having organized your house and said, this is where we are.
Yes.
Wow.
And the critical part of that organization is knowing all your non-compliances.
Okay.
So you need to do that assessment because
yourself.
Yeah. So if you're not materially disclosed a fact,
yes,
then the entire agreement is nullified, and they can come back to you not only for the full tax, but they can also they can also have prosecution against you. So the full ambit of the law applies then. So it is very important that if you want to take advantage of this, you get somebody who understands taxes. So, you're not only looking at what you think that you're not complied with, but are there any other blind spots in your business that you're not, in areas that you're not complying with? And that becomes very critical.
I love the fact that you said, get somebody. You didn't say, come see me. I like you. Because you know where I am sitting. Anything else you need me to know before I leave here and you get me a cup of coffee and I start telling you what my problems are?
My own sense is the voluntary tax disclosure program is good. This is not the first in the country.
Okay.
There have been 5 others.
All right.
Okay? So there was one when I started my career in 1994. There was another one in 2004, I think, which were all for tax. Then there was one on rental.
Yes, I remember that
2-3 years ago, which was very successful. Then there was a foreign assets disclosure amnesty 3 years ago.
I remember that
where,
one.
you could disclose all your foreign assets. And then now this is the another one.
Okay.
So one thing that, we have to really, compliment the Treasury and the KRA is every time they've given an amnesty or they've given a voluntary tax disclosure program, they've never gone back after the taxpayers.
Okay.
They've adhered to it. So that's one very good part.
Oh, great.
Secondly, if there is a gray area, they've always held the gray area in the favor of the taxpayer. Okay, not in favor of them. Okay. So they've been generally genuine in the amnesty. So my experience with amnesties has been very good, and I've been involved in 4 of them. Okay, where we have made applications for our clients. But one issue that I think this amnesty will not result in as much taxes that KRA expect is that KRA's expectation is that private sector is non-compliant. My experience is that over the years, private sector has become more and more compliant. And therefore, if you're looking at the 1994 amnesty or the 2004, 2003, 2004 as a benchmark, that so many taxpayers applied, it might not work. Because people are now taking care. And the reason is the laws have become more stringent.
Yes.
The enforcement has become more stringent. And then we have also got KRA looking at aspects of matching taxpayers' records, by doing cross-analysis.
And almost lifestyle audits.
Yes. And so there's so many other things that have happened in the last 10 years that over that period, people are now fully complying. Also, accounting standards are, becoming more stringent.
Yes.
The institute is becoming more stringent on the quality of audits. I'm not saying that the audits are perfect, but I think, there is much more oversight onto businesses. And I think because of that, there might be small areas where you missed out things, but people are totally, in areas of fraud or willful neglect. Okay, those are very few.
I like this. So this was my consultation. I let you into it. If you want your own, you know where to come. However, I think what I leave here with, and I leave you with, is this: is that Ashif Kassam has told you where there are gray areas, KRA has tended to take that weight themselves and not necessarily go to you. And when it comes to, even if perhaps you stab your foot, KRA is okay. They're not saying we'll come after you. It's like, no, let's do this together. And I think that helps, and especially for you in your position, because you don't want your client coming in here feeling like, oh dear, what are we gonna do? Should we just run?
Yeah, to me, if you're non-compliant, make sure you get compliant.
Yes.
This is the last chance before the full ambit of all the anti-avoidance provisions kick in.
All right.
Country by country reporting, common reporting standards, anti-avoidance provision, the new definition of control, the new definition of permanent establishment.
Yes.
There's so many changes that are coming in that will change the landscape of taxation.
Okay.
And more than that is that the G7 and G20 are now looking at how to tax global transactions, how to make it fair that you don't hide your money in tax jurisdictions. So there is a minimum level of taxation that's also coming in. So the issue of ethical tax payments is very critical.
And you might as well take advantage of this moment to ensure that you're not running around in about 3 years when you're saying, where did this come in? Where did this and what do I do now? Because it'll be too late to go back.
Yes.
Okay, I like that. Do you serve coffee in this place?
Yes, we do. Good one.
So take care, file your taxes before the deadline, and if in doubt, call me and I'll tell you who to talk to. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.